5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
To scratch and major itch. So enjoy your fruity pebbles, you yabba dabba bitch.
They've killed him! MCM Punk, and I am the voice of the voiceless.
Be the man. You gotta beat the man. Woo, woo, woo. You know it.
I got okey doke by Little Jimmy.
Live from the Pro Wrestling Report studios in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. This is Monday Night Meltdown with your hosts, Damian Nelson and David Hero.
I'm proud to say we're doing things the Vince McMahon way.
That's the bottom line. What? Cause Stone Cold said so.
Bringing you all the latest news and views from professional wrestling. Monday Night Meltdown is on the air.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Pro Wrestling Report on Blog Talk Radio. It's a special Tuesday edition of Meltdown Radio. Damian Nelson coming here along with David Hero and Matthew Thomas. And a big Tuesday on Sci-Fi. It was the Smackdown Great American Bash, if you will, which featured stars from both brands and also featured the man who will be the general manager of SmackDown next week, who won the Battle Royal, and two big qualifiers for WWE Money in the Bank, at least on the SmackDown side of things. We'll talk about all that in just a few minutes, but first, I want to let you guys know that you will have the opportunity as well to join us. The number you can call us at is 877-317-9772. Again, that's 877-317-9772 to get into the phone zone, which we'll be entering at the bottom of the hour. SmackDown live tonight on the Sci-Fi Network, a rare instance where SmackDown was live on a Tuesday, obviously a holiday upon us tomorrow being the 4th of July. And tonight we saw two big qualifiers into the Money in the Bank matchup on the SmackDown side of things, the first of which being the man who is well on his way to becoming the next World Heavyweight Champion, the man who I endorsed, the man who David Hero tried to ruin the career of, the man who defeated tonight Christian to qualify to be in the Money in the Bank ladder match, Cody Rhodes. David, your thoughts on the chosen one, the new chosen one, being in that Money in the Bank matchup?
Hey, I think Cody Rhodes is a absolutely fantastic addition to the Money in the Bank match. Absolutely. I think he's going to, elevate the match. It's going to be interesting. I mean, it's always good to have a super friend in a pay-per-view match that can get me some more points. But what are you going to do, Damian Nelson? Who are you going to cheer for, Dolph Ziggler or Cody Rhodes?
Well, I'm going to sit back and enjoy what will be a fantastic match out, which will feature several stars become made on the SmackDown Money in the Bank matchup in a couple of weeks on pay-per-view, because when you look at the names in there, there are several you would not have expected to be a part of it, including Damian Sandow, Tyson Kidd.
Whoa, hold on, Bro Cephas. I told you Damian Sandow would be in there. Remember?
We're not playing a game of I told you so. I'm saying that the general populace would not have expected. If you look at the WWE Raw Money in the Bank matchup, it's all former champions. Only 4 people announced for that one so far. You look on the other side of the ladder, if you will, and you've got all these relatively newer names, which will make for a tremendous matchup. I'm just surprised at some of the participants, but I am very satisfied at the participants overall. But there are 3 people who are standouts in this matchup who could win that briefcase, and I think 2 of them qualified tonight. But first, before we move on to the next qualifier, Matthew, your thoughts on Cody Rhodes finally getting back into the main event picture in this Money in the Bank ladder match on the SmackDown side of things.
I thought it was absolutely phenomenal. Both Cody and the man who we're going to move on to here in an instant, I presume, to talk about Dolph Ziggler qualifying. Before tonight, I really didn't think in that SmackDown field there seemed like a viable contender that I could actually see climbing to the top and pulling down that briefcase. And after tonight, we've got 2 additions, and I can honestly see it going either way in my book.
SmackDown Money in the Bank matchup got more interesting as the night went on, as Dolph Ziggler would defeat Alex Riley be another participant in the Money in the Bank matchup. Dolph Ziggler, Cody Rhodes, two people who everyone expected to be in the matchup, but I don't know if we expected it to happen so aggressively here tonight on the live version of SmackDown. Matthew, Dolph Ziggler, of course, he's endorsed. Of course, he has got that it factor, if you will, if you listen to him. Your thoughts on his inclusion now in this Money in the Bank ladder match, and what do you think his chances are of winning?
I think it's got a very good chance. I mean, for the last several months, I've kind of had in the back of my head, I thought that was the perfect thing for him, this year. And it seems like we've had some things kind of switched around with him being in the championship match a couple pay-per-views ago with the injury to Del Rio, and it was kind of, slingshotted a little bit quicker, but I really think that, this might just be his year. Like I said, I'm kind of a torn man between him and Cody. I think of those two, one of them will pull down that briefcase, and it'll certainly be interesting to see the way it goes.
And I think that's what makes this match I think that's what makes this match interesting is you've got multiple people who could win it, and you don't know who it's going to be, and multiple people who you can root for. That is what makes this a great matchup. Over on the Raw side of things, it's pretty obvious, at least in most fans' minds, who's going to win that matchup. But in this one, clearly with the participants, anything goes. Clearly with the availability of championship contenders over on the SmackDown side of things, this is going to be an intriguing matchup. Great points, Matthew.
Damien, what happens if Cody and Dolph don't win?
Then you've got Christian. There's no way Santino's going to win. There's no way Sandow's going to win. There's no way Tensai's going to win.
I think Sandow and Tensai could be sleepers in that match.
They are going to. I think that people will gain more respect for Tensai than they have since his return to WWE in this matchup. I think people will recognize and notice and really appreciate the talents of Tyson Kidd and Damian Sandow in that matchup, but I don't think there's any chance either of them is going to win. I think the clear front runners in this match are Cody Rhodes and Dolph Ziggler, and I think it's a toss-up as to which one it's going to be. Now, I would be surprised if anybody else won the matchup, but I just don't see anybody else with the necessary investment to this point to carry the briefcase around for the next several months and be a viable contender for the championship. David, that's where you make your point. Oh, let me guess you're tweeting and not paying attention to the show.
No. I'm thinking because, last year Money in the Bank.
Oh, that was that smell.
When I was thinking about how we didn't really give Bryan Danielson a chance in hell of winning Money in the Bank.
You really didn't.
Well, you didn't either. I mean, I obviously didn't at all. I didn't think he was going to do it. But Tyson Kidd almost falls in that same spot. Not saying that Tyson Kidd will, but I mean, you never know anymore as to what the creative offices in Stamford, Connecticut are thinking. I mean, none of us really gave, like I said, DBD a chance. He goes on and becomes one of the bigger stars. One of the bigger mid-upper card stars in the company in the last year. So the Money in the Bank definitely is for the breakout star. It is the new king of the ring. And Tyson Kidd, super talented, great kid, listens, learns. The office appreciates what he's done. Cody's already a made star. He still has a program to finish up with Christian. Dolph Ziggler has had numerous world title matches and always comes up short. I honestly think that this year's SmackDown Money in the Bank is going to be for somebody different.
Such as? Care to make a royal prediction?
Well, I'll save that for next week's Be the Booker. I mean, I'm still processing everything that's going on.
Stop it. You're going to pick Tensai because he's your boy, and he's not going to win.
But you know what? Yes, Tensai is my guy. I'm a Tensai guy. But Sandow's been impressive, but you just can't leave out Tyson Kidd. I mean, Santino, he's going to tease the entire match. Everyone's going to think he's going to get the shot, and he's going to fall short. And but think about it. How many world title matches does Dolph Ziggler deserve?
When's the last time he had one?
Oh, he's had a ton of them on Raw, on SmackDown, on pay-per-views. He's had plenty of opportunities. Cody Rhodes, he hasn't had that big win yet to elevate him to the world title match. I don't think that if he goes into a program with Sheamus, I don't think it will bode well for Cody. So that's why I'm thinking it's going to be somebody else.
Well, a lot more happened tonight on SmackDown, including AJ getting an interview with Michael Cole, and Michael Cole turned the tables on AJ and tried to make himself appealing to her, which brought out Daniel Bryan, who was then joined by CM Punk, and they both would get some lip service from AJ. David Harrell, we've heard your thoughts, of course, on how great AJ has been as of late. But, Matthew, what did you think of the very, very special AJ Lee's performance tonight with CM Punk and Daniel Bryan?
She continues to captivate. It continues to amaze me the amount of time that and focus she's given week to week, and the fact that she is basically the center point of this storyline for the WWE title, which I'll give them credit. It's something different. I can't remember the last time that a female or a third party, what have you, was this big of a focus point for a major storyline, especially involving the WWE title like this. And I really think that as it pertains to getting people to press that buy button and to have an interest in the Punk-Bryan feud, the people that are, smarks, that are internet wrestling fans, that have craved to see Bryan and Punk for the WWE title for a long time, they're invested. They're most likely going to buy to see that match anyway. And I think really what you've done with the AJ involvement, and I give her all the credit in the world. I mean, she has played this thing to a T. I think you've got a lot of the casual fans now really invested in this storyline to see, for lack of a better term, what this crazy chick is going to do next.
Great point. And she is. Go ahead, David.
The amazing thing is you have, as far as the internet wrestling fans are concerned, two of the more pure wrestlers in pro wrestling, correct? With Daniel Bryan Danielson and CM Punk. I can't believe there is not more outrage, more frustration, more irritation from the smart internet wrestling fans, because their pure wrestling match now has a psychotic girlfriend involved in it who is playing both of these guys like a fiddle.
Yep. What do you know?
Is it the WWE's creative way of secretly bashing Ring of Honor Wrestling? Because saying these two guys aren't good enough to have a program by themselves, we're going to put our NXT Diva runner-up in that match? You know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying.
And for some people might say, oh, no, they're crazy. The WWE office, creative, Vince McMahon, whoever else it is, that's how they think, that's how they operate. They're going to show the world, well, we didn't get the pay-per-view buys we wanted to the first time, but now we'll do it our way, and we're going to put AJ in there, and we're going to make her a big star. Right now, AJ has become a bigger star than both of those guys in that match. Yeah.
But here's my question, though, David. Is it that, or is it more of they can deliver in the ring, and they can cater to that relatively smaller audience than the general population of the internet fans, and WWE aware of that, but they need to make sure everybody gets into it. Is adding AJ to the dimension of those two really the answer to make the whole story of their wrestling much more entertaining and intriguing and getting every fan to buy into it as opposed to just the internet fans?
I don't know. Honestly, I really don't. I feel that it is somebody's way in that office of showing Punk and Daniel Bryan that they're not as big as stars as they think they are, and they put a girl in this program that is tremendously over, that she's in multiple segments. She's actually in more segments than Punk is by himself.
Yeah.
And you know what? And call me paranoid, cynical, whatever.
Oh, you're cynical.
There is an underlying hidden agenda somewhere in this with AJ. I mean, she is everywhere, all over this thing, and amazing. I mean, it just, I'm sitting there and I'm watching it. I'm like, wow, I can't believe it. That the match that I was looking forward to, everyone's been looking forward to, how great it's going to be. Let them do an Iron Man match. Let them have, an Iron Man match, 2 out of 3, whatever kind of match that can show the world their talents, and instead we get AJ Lee as a special guest referee.
Could she be a way of extending the program out, though? You start off with her involvement and Kane's involvement. Kane's dropped out now. Could we see AJ's involvement up until this pay-per-view, and then perhaps the next pay-per-view, couple pay-per-views down the road, you get that program extended out, you get the pure Punk Bryan program?
I don't know. I think right now she has her hooks in to this program, you know what I'm saying? Right. That I don't know how you can get her out of it. I mean, everybody wanted to see a best-of-7 series. And now we're getting AJ. And, hey, AJ has done fantastic. She has played her role to a T. I mean, the only diva that, has looked better than her has been Alicia Fox tonight in that bikini. I mean, damn. So it's like, hey, AJ, congratulations. No matter what you do now, I mean, you got to figure she has right now become the most powerful diva on the WWE roster since Chyna, beat up Jeff Jarrett. Because right now she's controlling men in the locker room.
And you mentioned the Best of 7 series and whatnot. Let's just face it, that would not have sold pay-per-views. In the numbers that a more entertaining storyline, and don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that Punk and Bryan are not entertaining, but fitting the mode of more. I mean, John Cena said on Raw, what was it last week? They cater to 9-year-olds, all right? And what makes that? What are they looking for? They're not looking for a great wrestling match. We are. They're looking for entertainment and emotional buy-in.
Friday, Armando Estrada came up and we went to Summerfest. We were chatting for a little bit. And we had a long talk about what's on TV right now. And he looked at me and he's like, hey, it's not written for us anymore. It's written for that 7 to 13-year-old demographic. Maybe as high as 18 right now. But it's definitely not written for, us. And they prove that week in, week out, especially on the Smackdown brand, when you see all the different characters. I mean, when you have a Santino and a Zack Ryder and a Great Khali and the Usos, and there's all, and the Rybacks, there's just so many different characters that it's not the same as Raw. So.
Mm-hmm. Well, we did have a Battle Royal as well tonight on SmackDown, and we were told, I believe, that the winner of this Battle Royal would be the general manager of both Raw and SmackDown next week. I was very surprised by the final 2 participants in this matchup, which were Kane and Linda knows him, Zack Ryder. Zack Ryder won this Battle Royal, and I was like, what?
But Damian, did you see that next week's SmackDown tapings have been canceled?
No, they haven't.
Yes, they have. It's supposed to be out in Colorado. And with all the forest fires and everything, they canceled the SmackDown tapings. So he can't win. He can't lose for weeks. He loses when he wins.
Stop it. They're doing SmackDown next week. They may have canceled the particular location. It's Raw's in Denver next week.
It doesn't matter. But when he's supposed to get the GM of SmackDown.
Listen to your sinister laugh, because you are trying to single-handedly ruin this poor man's career.
No, I'm not. It's just funny how it all works out,
For you.
No, hey, he's on my team. I want him to do well. Hell, he's got me any points at all this year.
Zack Ryder won, Matthew. What did you think of that? A little surprising, huh?
Yeah, like you said, when it came down to Kane and Ryder, that's something that I would not and I did not predict. And, Zack Ryder victory in the Battle Royal as we went off the air tonight. Definitely something I didn't see coming, but maybe the start to a little bit of a Ryder resurgence, perhaps.
No, not gonna.
No, if he would have got it for Raw and SmackDown, absolutely. But you know what? That's why I picked Big Show. I'm like, oh, well, Big Show can set up matches on Raw and SmackDown to make John Cena weak going into Money in the Bank. But if it's just SmackDown, it's the B show. Unfortunately, that's really what it is, and they're not going to have one of their big A stars from the Raw brand be a GM on SmackDown. So I guess at the end of the day, the right guy won the match.
SmackDown Live tonight, the Great American Bash. We saw Hacksaw Jim Duggan and Sergeant Slaughter as well. For those who are listening to us in the Milwaukee area, Sergeant Slaughter is going to be in Milwaukee Thursday night. It's going to be at Concordia University up in Mequon. Come on down to a Concordia baseball game and meet the Sarge, Sergeant Slaughter.
The Chinooks baseball team, the Chinooks.
That's going to be at Capco Park, 6:35 p.m. Tickets just $5 for that game. It's going to be signing autographs. You can bring whatever sort of memorabilia you would like and take pictures with the Sarge. David and you and I are going to be stopping through there just before the game, talking to the Sarge a little bit, getting some footage for an upcoming prime time. All the details of that right now.
Go ahead.
All the details of that right now on our Facebook page, facebook.com/PWR Show. Again, that's facebook.com/PWR Show, a way to meet Sergeant Slaughter.
Now, listen, I know the Sarge loves the color green, but please do not embarrass yourself by bringing that hideous Nelson family T-shirt along for him.
He's getting one. I mean, it's a gift of the show.
Uh-huh. I saw you pull the shenanigans with Cal.
Embarrassing. Have you seen your shirt? Do you look in a mirror?
Absolutely, every day.
That explains why you keep buying them. That's when you laugh, Matthew. It's good. Yeah, see, that's funny. Got him good. All right, so that was SmackDown. We are going to now talk about yesterday's WWE Raw, which was eventful as well. We talked about AJ and her performance, but what we didn't talk about and need to is the two huge monster returns on Raw last night, the first of which being Doink the Clown. Now, I'm not sure if that was evil Doink or happy Doink, but it was good to see Doink again on Raw, followed by the return of Diamond Dallas Page, the Diamond Cutter, Mr. DDP Yoga himself. Going
that
up
was
the
Abe Knuckleball Doink.
Later. And let's not forget, well done. And let's not forget, Heath Slater defeated Doink 1, 2, 3 in the ring.
Well, yeah, he beat Doink. I mean, come on. But he had no chance with DDP.
Well, he wasn't prepared for that. See, what happened is he knew he was out there just to he was out there to cut a promo, and then this clown came out with tennis shoes, and then
I honestly hope at the end of the day that this all works out for Heath Slater. I hope that it's worth it getting beat by every legend that comes down the pike.
Of course it will.
Okay, I understand that you sent him one of your Nelson family T-shirts also.
Shh. We don't talk about that, so stop. And you shouldn't understand anything. What I want to understand, and I'd love to hear Matthew's perspective on this, Tyson Kidd beat David Hero's Boy Tensai 1, 2, 3 pin in the middle of the ring. Hey, I'm just saying, you can sigh all you want, but Matthew, a bit of a surprise to that matchup.
Yeah, we're starting to get a little bit of a Tyson Kidd push, it appears. And one thing that keeps amazing me with Tensai is I cannot get over how just indifferent and dead the crowd is in regards to him. We had the beatdown, of Sakimoto after the match, and it's the second one we've seen where it was just no reaction whatsoever from the crowd, and I don't know. I wonder if maybe letting Tensai talk will evoke some reaction from the crowd. But right now, it's just dead.
Let me tell you why there's no crowd reaction for Tensai. It's because since his debut, they have done nothing special with him. When he first debuted, he beat JTG, and then he beat who was Zack Ryder's old tag team partner?
Hell, I don't remember.
Yeah, Kurt Hawkins. And guys like that. And then unfortunately, he debuts the same time as Brock Lesnar. And then Brodus Clay gets his big push. So, really, the fans gravitate towards Lesnar. Big Show winds up turning heel. Brodus Clay is another big beast that's getting over with the fans as a fan favorite. And Tensai, yeah, he did defeat John Cena, but that's been it. I mean, so there's no reason for the fans to invest in him because they just don't have any type of connection whatsoever. Now, if Tensai would have beaten up the people the way Big Show has, or has been killing people the same way Ryback has, it might be completely different. But unfortunately, for Tensai, right place at the absolute worst possible time for him to come back to debut on TV. But look at
also
this. Tyson Kidd gets a big victory, and we spent the entire conversation talking about Tensai.
No, Tyson Kidd gets a big victory, and Matthew gave him a fair shot, and you turned it around and spun it back to Tensai. And
no, I
you ought to be
not.
ashamed of yourself. Yeah,
No.
you absolutely did.
I didn't
It's
spin
Don
nothing.
on the phone.
Who?
That did happen.
Uh-huh.
Alberto Del Rio attacked
Oh, no,
Sin Cara.
wait, hold on.
Announcement
Wait a second. Tyson Kidd, huge win. It solidifies that he belongs in the Money in the Bank, and the only person that he could have beaten to solidify that would have been Tensai. All right, go ahead.
All right. Alberto Del Rio attacks Sin Cara. Well, enough about that. Paul Heyman responds to Triple H and says Brock Lesnar is going to be giving his answer to Triple H on the big 1,000th episode of Raw, which comes on July 23rd to St. Louis, Missouri. Obviously, the answer will be yes. What I noticed last night on Raw, though, is the slow build to this matchup. Because keep in mind, we haven't seen Lesnar since Extreme Rules, pretty much. The slow build to this matchup is something that has gotten me intrigued, not in the match itself necessarily, but in the story that is taking us there. Matthew, your thoughts?
Yeah, it's definitely a slow burner here. The thing with me is that, the inevitable answer is yes. I'm having a hard time getting invested in the build to the answer per se. Although you know what it's going to be, it seems a little bit, I don't know, it seems a little bit much for me. I think that if it had been booked right out the gate and this was more of a build to the match, for some reason that would garner a little more interest from me. I'm having a little harder of a time getting invested in the build to the answer per se. Although I will add that the segment before they went to commercial where they were adjusting Heyman's tie was awesome.
Paul Heyman is just simply fantastic at what he does and has been for a very long time. And it's good to see him on. And the thing I noticed last night, and I think I noticed this, without noticing it in the past, is the way he said Brock Lesnar every time he said his name. The emphasis on the star. He said his name with aggression because that's what we're supposed to see Brock Lesnar as. Just brilliance by Paul Heyman.
Paul Heyman, Triple H, Brock Lesnar obviously are going to be headlining SummerSlam. My concern is, they're building all this for the 1,000th Raw. What happens with everything that they're doing for this Raw in St. Louis, which, in fact, we'll be at?
Yes, indeed.
What if it doesn't top a rating? What does that mean for SummerSlam? Does that mean people won't care, that they won't buy it? I mean, with all the star power that they're supposedly going to be having, all the guys they're bringing back from all the different eras that have been a part of Raw, what if they still get a 3.5 or a 3.6? What if it only hits a 3.7? does that mean that it was a failure? Does that mean wrestling, it's just be the same audience all the time? SummerSlam right now, the way they're building it, is the number 2 pay-per-view of the year.
Yeah. Well, it is a big deal, is SummerSlam, and I don't know. I didn't realize you were that guy who still looks so deeply into the ratings for the validation of how good a wrestling show was.
Damian Nelson. All right.
David,
you watched the entire Raw tonight, right?
I watched the entire SmackDown tonight.
That's what I mean. Yeah, the entire SmackDown. What was the one Raw moment that Mick Foley talked about when they announced his title win?
600,000 people. In 99.
Right. And 600,000 TV channels clicked over to Raw.
In 1999, when it mattered.
Right. And they said and then after that, Raw never lost in the ratings again. So obviously the ratings are still an important factor. Yes, they're an important factor to me because that's how you judge how well something is doing. I'm just saying, this big Raw they're building, it needs to be humongous. It needs to be, it has to be over, the rating has to be over a 4. It's a 3-hour show. They need to keep the people in tuned. And they've done nothing else except promote Brock Lesnar and Triple H. And they're 2 weeks away.
They are 2 weeks away, and that was WWE Raw and tonight's live SmackDown, a good 2 nights of WWE programming, and the next live wrestling show we have is coming up Thursday from Impact Wrestling, of course, where they're going to be putting the finishing touches on their pay-per-view this Sunday as well. We'll be talking about that, of course, with Be the Booker this Saturday night on the Pro Wrestling Report Primetime Television. I want to remind all of you, due to the celebration of our country's independence, tomorrow, July 4th, there will be no Pro Wrestling Report Primetime on Wednesday. However, we will be back on Saturday again with a brand new episode of Primetime Television.
But right hold on, hold on. But if they really want to see us tomorrow, we'll be at Six Flags in Chicago with Rhino for the Six Flags 4th Fest. 2 wrestling shows at 3 p.m. and 6 p.m. It's free shows with paid admission. Go to sixflags.com. I believe it's buy one, get one tickets as well tomorrow.
Yeah.
And the man beast Rhino, the current Ring of Honor star, former TNA, ECW, and WWE champion, will be there kissing babies and signing autographs.
Is Rhino going to be the one shooting off the fireworks tomorrow night at Six Flags? I understand they got a pretty big fireworks show, and most everybody's canceled their fireworks.
Well, thank God that Six Flags has the water park there. It's been so dry. At least we have that, we can, jump into. But yeah, Rhino, actually, he told me he is the Grand Marshal of the parade and is lighting off the first firework. So,
wow, tremendous.
Yeah, there's definite shenanigans tomorrow at Six Flags in Gurney, Chicagoland.
Excellent show. Be sure to check it out. Those shows at 3 p.m. and 6 p.m. at Six Flags Great America, located just outside Chicago, Illinois. We're going to take a time out here on the Meltdown. When we come back, we're going to be talking to the rest of the broadcast team and also going to be taking your phone calls in the phone zone. So we're going to take that break now, and we'll be back on the other side of this brief timeout. Welcome back to Pro Wrestling Report Monday Night Meltdown. Here's what I don't understand. On a day where we mourn the loss of a great entertainer by the name of Andy Griffith, Ben Matlock, just a great man. I look at an article here about Hollywood's highest paid actors, and Adam Sandler is one of them.
Hey, don't mess with the Zohan, baby.
He's obnoxious. Man.
Oh, there's a big difference between him and yourself. Are you kidding me?
I'm sorry? You said what? Yeah, I'm so flattered when you compare me to Regis Philbin. I mean, that's just so amazing.
No. I compare you to Johnny Carson. You're the king of late night. I've seen your tweets.
Damian Nelson and David Hero and Matthew Thomas here talking about WWE Raw and SmackDown from this week on PWR Monday Meltdown. I want to thank all of you for joining us in the PWR chat room. Hundreds of you discussing tonight's show in there live right now, and also all of you joining us on Twitter at PWR Show on Twitter. It's time now to enter actually, before we enter the phone zone, let's go around the room. And, I've been waiting all day to hear from one very, very famous lady, and she has been owning Summerfest. I think she owns the Midgate now at Summerfest. But the lovely Linda Kay, do you have your own entrance now to Summerfest? You pull up in a Bentley and blow your horn and get out and walk in?
Like Del Rio. I get my own personal announcer, too, every time I walk in.
But the question is, do you have moves like Del Rio?
Oh, yes, I do. Yes, I do. All right. Well, Dave, why do you always got to rain on Zack Ryder's parade?
I'm not. It's the truth. They canceled SmackDown tapings next week.
You are
no.
Linda, don't cry. It's okay. He's just pure evil.
Okay, you know what?
Pure evil.
Prove me wrong. Tell me that they did not cancel next week's SmackDown taping.
Listen to what you're saying. They canceled next week's SmackDown taping so you can give our listeners the impression that there will be no SmackDown next week. You know good and damn well there will be a SmackDown next Friday night. So stop it with your shenanigans.
Well, I thought that tonight's Super SmackDown was super tremendous from all the shenanigans at Teddy Long's Cookout. That was some fun stuff. I wanted to be at that party. And then also that kind of triple kiss. I mean, that was pretty shocking. Can you imagine if AJ would have kissed Michael Cole, too? That would have been...
Yeah. Linda, you were the only diva that was not at that barbecue tonight, just so you know. Everybody else was there except for you.
Just when I thought SmackDown couldn't get any better, woo, Zack Ryder wins the Battle Royal. And Dave Hero, there will be a SmackDown next week, and he will be interim general manager.
Oh, I can't wait. You know it's going to be fantastic.
Linda Kay, thank you so much. We'll see you down at Summerfest tomorrow, I'm sure. Hey, did you go see Tiesto tonight? Hey, actually, if you did, you probably wouldn't be talking to us, huh?
No.
Hey, you know what? Zack Ryder had to win the Battle Royal tonight. Otherwise, he wouldn't be used on SmackDown next week.
Thank you, Linda. You're evil. It's like you got sharks with freaking lasers swimming around you. You're evil. Thank you, Linda, for chiming in. Let's go now to the co-host of Thursday Night's Delight, the Sudden Impact Radio Show, Dwayne Williams. Dwayne, your thoughts on tonight's SmackDown and last night's Raw.
I like them both. And I think that the thing that we're not noticing because it's so gradual is that they're making new stars, they're attempting to elevate people, and the landscape is slowly changing and bringing in some of these younger guys.
Well, and
you have to admit that, Dave.
I'm sorry?
That's been the criticism.
Even you have to admit that.
Absolutely. I mean, they are. SmackDown is the place where they're developing the younger talent. I mean, there were a couple of guys in that barbecue, honest to God, I had no clue who they were. I had no idea who was dancing with who.
Yeah,
but then you have guys.
Some of that funny stuff.
But then you have guys like Cody and Dolph Ziggler, who goes back and forth on both shows. And, I joke about Zack Ryder, but he's there. And, there is younger talent that, because they're not under the huge John Cena CM Punk spotlight, they get a chance to try different things. I was a little disappointed that the primetime players were not on SmackDown tonight.
Play us.
I'm just trying to,
Sounds weird when you say it.
Well, but listen, the problem is today's grammar is so messed up because of Twitter and shortening, whatever else. I'm just trying to be Pacific. That's all.
Let's now go into the phone zone, ladies and gentlemen, here on Tuesday Night Meltdown. And we've got a couple people waiting here on hold. Let's first go out to California. Ruben, you are live here on the Pro Wrestling Report.
What up? Happy Considerate Day to all of y'all.
Thank you. I was actually celebrating Canada Day yesterday, but I guess I can celebrate twice in 1 week. I am Canadian,
That explains everything. There it is. Okay. What I wanted to say was that I want to comment on both Raw and SmackDown. When I watched Raw the other night, it didn't really give me the feel to want to pull the trigger on this pay-per-view, Money in the Bank, until SmackDown. Now, SmackDown started building young stars. We start seeing a lot of these guys that we hadn't seen, a lot of these guys that we didn't know. But here's the thing. How is it, and it's amazing, that a girl who's 5'4", $110, cute as hell, is the most dominant star so far I've seen in the last few months?
Well, just ask Linda. She's still on the line.
Well, Linda, the honey drop, always sweet to see you. Always sweet to hear from you, sweetheart. The whole deal is what I'm saying is about AJ. She is doing something that CM Punk did last year, and I watched our show Saturday night when I talked about how CM Punk last year was just the most dominant star in all professional wrestling. Now it looks like it's AJ. So it's pretty much the roles have become in reverse somewhat, and it's truly, truly tremendous and amazing what is happening with this young girl. Now I'm more intrigued to buy the pay-per-view, but it won't be because of the Money in the Bank for the WWE title, because aren't they going to put more stars into this? Just the 4 and that's it? What about Randy Orton? What about Dave Bautista? What about Rey Mysterio? What about Mick Foley or somebody? I mean, you can't just have a 4 men. Might as well call it a fatal 4-way ladder match, for crying out loud.
Yeah, but Big Show and Kane make up for it. I mean, that right there is like having 2 extra guys in the match.
Dude, how many times have we seen this?
Yeah, it is a bit, and thank you for that call, Ruben. But I think they're going to suffer on the Raw side of things if those are the only participants in the Money in the Bank matchup.
They'll still pop 2 more guys. They might throw 3 more guys in there. You still have.
Why don't you ever let Matthew talk, David? I happened to catch the show over the last 2 weeks. Matthew did a great job as host, but you just kept cutting him off. What are you trying to take his spot?
No, I don't want his spot.
One thing Ruben touched on, as far as the Raw Money in the Bank really not making you want to hit that buy button, for me, a big appeal of Money in the Bank over the years is the fact, with these young guys, you're trying to kind of visualize, okay, if this person wins and cashes in and becomes champion, what would that be like? Last night when Cena was up there cutting a promo about how he's going to win Money in the Bank, coming from a 10-time champion, you're missing that element of it. So I can certainly echo those sentiments in the fact that it really doesn't, at least on my end, really entice me like it does over on the SmackDown side of things.
Here's something that I found interesting, and I'm sure you both are familiar. The show on Comedy Central called Workaholics. Now, we normally don't do the show on a Tuesday, but here in the studio, it's on mute. And watching the visuals on this comedy brilliance without understanding what they're up to now is just absolutely tremendous. And speaking of tremendous and speaking of comedic talents, it's been a while since we've heard from him. Hopefully his sabbatical wasn't as intense as it was last time with a forced sabbatical. But Curryhead from down in Memphis, Tennessee,
oh my goodness,
is here with us now on the Pro Wrestling Report Monday Night Meltdown on a Tuesday. Curryhead, how are you, my brother?
What's up, Damien? How you doing today?
There he is.
Hey, Damien, I want to congratulate you on your win for your win and winning your brutal beat the Booker against Dave Hero. I want to congratulate you on your...
Oh, the winner of the 2011 Pro Wrestling Report Fantasy Draft by 5 points, courtesy of Heath Slater, Damian Nelson. You can pick up your Nelson family shirts right now at PWRshow.com for the low price of only $14.99, shipped right to your door.
Thank you for the shameless plug, Damien.
It was shameless. It was shameful.
Yeah. How you doing today, David?
You know what? Honestly, I'm doing absolutely fantastic.
How you doing, Matthew?
What's going on, man?
Let me introduce myself. If I have Matthew, my name is Curryhead, and I'm a businessman from the city. I'm on a service that cater to lonely men and women in this city. So that's the reason I was not on sabbatical this year. I've been a good boy this year, man. I have not been arrested this year. Knock on wood.
Well, you still got 5 months to go.
Yeah, you got a point there. You got a point there.
Make it this summer. You should be fine. I understand things heat up in the summer.
That's true. But let me get to the real show. I gotta give a shout out to my girl AJ. I wish I had a girl like that in
well, that explains it right there. You're involved with AJ. That's why she's, getting her seconds with both those guys. Okay.
I need to get a girl like AJ, but I like AJ. She is on fire. I like her. Let me tell you this: crazy chicks get the money for me. I know. Believe me, gentlemen. I know that for a fact. But I digress. I like this moment. Huh? You want me to explain that to you? If I have to explain that to you, Damien, you need the card. I need to give you my business card, Damien. But I digress. I want to say this.
Mormon.
Huh? But
I'm Mormon.
That's a good question. That's something I need to. But I gotta say this. I like this Money in the Bank. I gotta feel that this is the time for the person that is personally endorsed by the 2011 PWR draft winner, Damian Nelson, a young second generation who got that Kerry Von Erich, the Bret Hart effect on him, which means this, folks. The second generation wrestler who gonna get the biggest push. Cody Rhodes is gonna be the next Money in the Bank winner for the World Heavyweight title, and by the end of this year, will be a world champion. I gotta congratulate you, Damien. You saw it, and I gotta give you credit. Props to you, Damien. You are
thank you so much, Curry. And I wish that the rest of the nation would understand that there's only one person in this world on a wrestling broadcast, on television, on radio, who can pick the right talent. Not a person I haven't touched hasn't turned to gold.
Hey, Damien, I want to give you this, Damien. I'm going to personally send you about 4 or 5 of my best products for you in Blizzard Brawl this year so you can warm up this year. And don't forget, Damien. Don't forget, Dave, I got something for you. I got somebody special for you. I got somebody that's even crazier than AJ, especially for you.
That's fantastic. Damien, we need a road trip. I'm telling you.
And Matthew, if you come down to Memphis, man, I'll hook you up too, man.
That sounds like a plan.
Let's summarize this. Curryhead, in your return to this broadcast, you have obviously shown your support for the Nelson family. You've tried to sell us prostitutes. And you
no, he's not selling. He's giving.
I do not.
Oh, they're free?
Escorts.
Escorts. So, wait a minute. Does the agreed-upon rate in the taxi cab on the way to the hotel have to be the same rate you actually pay in the morning?
Exactly. But escort. Prostitution is illegal in the state of Tennessee.
I thought they shut Craigslist down.
Not
all
really.
Right, well, Kurt, you're taking us on. You're taking us down a very dangerous road. It's very great to talk to you. We are just about out of time. Thank you so much for calling.
Damien.
David.
But if you ask the taxi driver for free admission tickets, you're all good.
You have to pay to get in these places? I'd much rather go to Sam's Club. Thank you guys so much for tuning in here to the Pro Wrestling Report Monday Night Meltdown on a Tuesday. We'll be back at our normally scheduled time next Monday night. And, again, primetime Saturday night this week. And if you're listening in the Milwaukee area, be sure to join us at Carmel Bar and Grill for the live Impact Wrestling this Thursday night from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m., followed by a chance for you to be on TV and the Pro Wrestling Report prime time on Saturday. For Matthew Thomas and David Hero, along with the man they call Meathead, Linda Kay, and Dwayne Williams, this is Damian Nelson saying thank you so much for tuning in here to the Monday Night Meltdown. We'll see you again Saturday on Prime Times.
This is the Pro Wrestling Report. Informative, entertaining, real.